I don't give away spoilers in my reviews, you guys know that. And that really sucks. It's really hard to do for this review because The Last of Us Remastered, the story is the best part about it. But I guess I could boil it down to Joel and Ellie trying to survive and find a way and find a purpose in a world that's been overrun by a virus that turns people into basically zombies. The characters are so well acted, the voice acting is amazing, the animation is amazing of the faces, the emotions of the characters, you feel them. And it's been a very long time since I played a game like that really grabs a hold of you and puts you into the characters. They have a way of making you feel like Ellie is your daughter. Like, really, through this game, there were parts of the game where I would go to a different room and go off and search something, and I would be worried about her in the other room. I would be like, I gotta go see if she's okay. I don't want anything to hurt her. They really make you want to protect Ellie. And there's nothing that can be said about that except for hats off to Naughty Dog. The fact that the writing and the lines and everything that they do with this story is so damn good, guys. I can't stress that enough. It's so good. And immediately after finishing the game, immediately after finishing the DLC, I wanted more. I needed more. I need to know more of what actually happens in the end. And hopefully someday there will be a sequel to The Last of Us. But it's safe to say, at least to me, that The Last of Us has the best story in a game I've ever played. It's right up there with games like Red Dead Redemption, some of the GTA 5 stories. It's definitely top notch, and it is a work of art. So let's talk about the gameplay, guys. The gameplay is very good. There are some flaws, however, in the AI, in your ally AI, Ellie, or other people that sometimes travel in your party will get in your way. Sometimes you'll get stuck and have to just run into them and get frustrated. And sometimes the human AI on the opposite side, the bad guys, are pretty stupid. They're pretty dumb. But for me, it wasn't as bad as a lot of people are saying. And this might be because I played it on survivalist game mode. It was very difficult. A lot of people have been complaining about the AI, but if the AI is that bad, the game shouldn't be as difficult as it was for me to play through on survivalist mode. I'm not saying it's one of the most difficult games I've ever played. It isn't. But it was very challenging at survivalist mode, and they even had a higher difficulty mode than that. And I think everything comes back to the story, guys. At least for me it did. The AI wasn't amazing, but it didn't take away from the game. It didn't take away from the atmosphere. The game was still great, even with the AI having some minor issues. Now, whoever does the artwork and animations for this game should win a fucking award. It's crazy. If you play through this game 3-4 times, I guarantee you're going to come back and notice something that you didn't notice the previous playthroughs. The attention to detail is crazy. Probably after 20 hours of playing the game, I finally looked and noticed that when you run out of bullets, your slider on your gun is locked. It actually looks like you're out of bullets. And it's all kinds of touches like these. All kinds of really cool things that I don't want to give away that just make this game feel real and make you feel like you are in this world. The shooting mechanics are pretty much like Uncharted. The aiming and everything like that, it's pretty much on par with Uncharted. And as with any other zombie game, you kill faster aiming for the head. Now, playing it through on survivalist difficulty, the ammo was scarce. I don't know how it is on other difficulty levels, but on survivalist, the ammo is very hard to find, and it really adds to the feel of the game. I don't know how many times I approached a room full of clickers with one bullet in my gun, and just desperation sets in. How am I going to get past this? And it really gives that feeling of surviving and doing anything possible to get past the infected or survive an encounter with the infected. The brutality in this game is off the charts. It's a very brutal, violent game. And it should be. To me, that is one of the most realistic parts about this game. You're smashing people's faces in with metal pipes. It's just crazy. You are shanking people in the neck with a 14-year-old little girl. There's just something about how brutal it is that really pulls you into the game and makes you feel like a survivor. But aside from the AI problems, the gameplay is amazing. It's a combination of gunplay and stealth, and it works out beautifully. So now I want to talk about the graphics. A lot was made about the 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second, and I didn't play it on 30 frames per second. I only played it on 60 frames per second, and in the multiplayer, it's a solid 60 frames per second. Now in the single player, there's weird areas when there's not even stuff going on that you'll get frame rate drops, and it actually surprises me because most of the encounters where there's a lot of things going on in screen, you're not getting these frame rate drops. So I really don't know what's going on with that. It just seemed like in the weirdest areas I was getting frame rate drops, and they were noticeable. They were very noticeable frame rate drops, but it didn't take away from the game. Like I said, it didn't happen during high action. It just happened when I was exploring most of the time. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it is understandable why they added the 30 frames per second option, because a lot of people can't stand frame rate drops. And I'm one of those people, but like I said, it did not really affect the game. It wasn't so frequent that I got annoyed with it at all, but it was very surprising. Now the environments in this game, they shine. The environments in this game, they don't look last gen. Now I didn't play this on PlayStation 3, so I don't know how it looked compared to PlayStation 3, but it held its own on a PlayStation 4, I can tell you that much. Once again, I want to talk about the artwork, because whoever did the artwork for this game is awesome. The colors are vibrant, it looks beautiful, and they really give you the feel that these cities have been sitting there for a long time and have been overrun by growth of weeds and trees and things like that. But the settings are great. I don't want to give too much away. There were some favorite settings of mine that looked very beautiful, but I don't want to talk about them because I would be giving too much away. But if you're worried about the graphics in this game, do not be. It's beautiful. It holds its own with any next-gen title right now. It's not the most beautiful game, but it still is a beautiful game. Now I kind of want to touch on the multiplayer. The multiplayer is surprisingly good. Normally when you get single-player games that are as epic as this one is, you don't get multiplayer that is that good at all. But this multiplayer is addicting. It's fun. It definitely isn't the best multiplayer out there, but it is a lot of fun and enjoyable. It takes the stealth and the combat out of the single player and throws it into the multiplayer. But let's be honest here, they could have not added multiplayer at all, and I would still think the exact same I do of the game. The single player is where it's at. So it's time for me to score the game, guys, and I give The Last of Us Remastered a 9.5 out of 10. I seriously wanted to give this game a 10, and I think if I played it on PlayStation 3, I probably would have given it a 10. But you take the frame rate drops in the single player, then you add that with some of the AI problems, and I have to take a little bit away. It's not perfect, but it is as close to a perfect game as you can get. The Last of Us Remastered is a piece of art. It's artwork, it's storytelling, everything you want from a video game rolled into one. It's an unforgiving game. They don't baby you. They don't hold your hand through the situation, at least on the difficulty I played. You have to figure things out for yourself, and that's how it would be in real life, and it adds to the feel. Everything they do in this game adds to the immersion and the feel of just trying to survive through this world. This game instantly inserted itself into top 3, top 4 games I have ever played in my life. I will never forget this story. I will never forget this game. So if you ask me, Naughty Dog did their job here, guys. Naughty Dog has a masterpiece, and if you have any chance at all in playing this game, get your hands on it and play it. It's amazing. So that's really it. That's all I got for you guys. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and thanks for watching.